Billy Joel, Jersey, Wednesday, Chippendales? We present to you the Out There on today's episode of Vegas Rocks, the podcast. Total Design Studios is a Las Vegas-based web design company that has been in business since 2000. We are a full-service design firm offering WordPress web design, e-commerce solutions, custom social media posts, video production, voice-over services, and so much more. If you're in the market for a design company that can help you grow your business, then contact Total Design Studios today at 702-433-6815. Visit us online at totaldesignstudios.com.
Hello, with you out there.
Oh, you guys can introduce yourself. All right, we're here with Vegas Rocks, the podcast, and my co-host Adam. I'm Sherry.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us, you guys. We're here with the Out There. Use my pen. I'm gonna let you guys introduce each other. So, Colin, who do we have here?
Ringo.
Yeah. Ringo Conway. Rings, I can't wear rings, I play the drums. This is the illustrious Dan Conway, plays for Alter Ego on 3-month stages, 5 nights a week.
5 nights a week.
And
sometimes 5 mornings a week.
Yeah, 5 mornings a week. And loves long walks on the beach and telling the truth.
Nice.
This is very true.
Awesome.
Both of those things are true.
And you, sir, who's sitting next to you?
This is Colin. No, this is Ryan Kelsey, born and raised Las Vegas native,
Nice.
and he takes his clothes off for a living in Chippendales.
Which makes me refer to him as our little rescue ranger.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say it. I already know 3/4 of you guys.
The new kids.
Didn't know Ryan. Don't follow Chippendales yet on Instagram.
You should.
Okay.
It's a
But
party.
I did creep it, and welcome to my house. It's lovely to meet you.
Nice dick.
Didn't see that, but anyways. Who's that?
It's a very shapely member.
Nice dick, homie.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I got the band gig. I can't even play guitar.
It's true. I just flipped it out. I was like, he's in the band.
Ah.
We're getting a helicopter.
Ryan, introduce us to this handsome dude.
Mr. Colin Brody.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Colin just released his own album.
And it's
solo
my
album.
Sure did.
Uh-huh.
It's really good.
We're gonna be playing one of those songs on our
Oh,
first
that's
gig
great.
coming up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome.
I love that. It's like we're putting out a record. He's like, no, I'm putting out a record.
Yeah.
Like, let's get this straight. I'm doing it.
Yeah. I don't know. Just did it.
It's just what he does.
Yeah.
And Daniel. Who's that dude?
His name is Paul Martinez. He is my roommate, my brother. We get our ears pierced together. And hold
Actually
hands
together,
and cuddle
link.
sometimes.
Yeah.
He plays many instruments
Mhm.
and writes most of the songs for the band. And yeah,
Sweet. So how did this happen? What was the beginning of this? Take me back.
Paul's mine.
Yeah.
Well,
Mine, baby.
okay, so I guess that goes with me and Colin. Colin and I were in a 3-piece band for a short time called the Pretty Blurs. And we wrote like a bunch of zany sort of music. If you listen to Colin's record, you'll kind of get what I'm saying. But I would say it's like Devo mixed with like New Order and Cure, and then also for some reason like Blink-182 was thrown in there.
Nice.
But it was me, Colin, and our friend Tim Sorbs, who plays drums for Original Chaos. And schedules, as they do, just conflicted. And so Colin and I ended up being free together. And so we just started writing songs together. And that's how this band started.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good project, good group of dudes. And that's like, the entire basis for a good band, It's people who like each other.
Yeah. It's a start.
Well, that new guy, though, I don't know about the new guy.
Yeah, the hard part is rarely the music itself.
Yeah.
So you refer to him as the new guy. Did you guys know each other, or did you have to audition for this, or how did this?
So, very long story short, I've spent my whole life in dance. So my mom was a dance teacher. My parents danced in the shows here in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, cool.
So I did dance, she was my first ballet teacher, and I did dance with the family. Found music on my own, and I always kind of like had one foot in each art form. Got a few dance jobs early on, decided to kind of follow that as a career path. So I've never had weekends free.
Oh.
I've been lucky enough to always be working, but I never could join a band. So COVID hits, bars come back before shows, right? So I've got all this free time. A mutual friend of Paul and mine was putting together a band, and Paul actually was supposed to be the temporary player for the day to audition me, and then they liked him so much that they kept him. He ended up becoming the MD of the band. So as life came back, schedules, same thing, schedules went in different directions. My show came back. So I had to step away, and that band dissolved. And these three guys got together, and there became an opening in this band. And Paul gave me a call, and I was hesitant because, again, I'm still full-time at Chippendales, and I'm dance captain. I'm on the creative team over there, so I have responsibilities besides just performing. And I was like, dude, my schedule, what are we just going to play on Mondays? He's like, actually, yeah. He's like, we work Fremont on the weekends. We're not, trying to replace our jobs. We just want a fun, just passion project, and the schedule's lined up.
I love it.
That's good.
Our other guitar player was a Magic Mike, and we wanted to get back at him.
Yeah.
Like getting a ship in
He was in Thunder, and his visa ran out. He got deported.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I worked at a skydiving place at the time, and the guys from Thunder from Down Under came in, and half of them didn't make it out of the plane, and a bunch of them started crying.
Nice.
The funny part is that's actually a true story. It's just from 19 years ago.
So the name "The Out There" is making sense. How did you guys come up? How did you come with?
That was him.
It's funny. No, it's technically it's Paul's fault, and I say fault because it's his fault for having all of Paul is a massive Beatles fan, and Paul McCartney too. Obviously, he's named after him.
Hold on.
Hi, puppy. Hi, pup. Lucie. How'd you get out? Come on.
You're very cute.
I know.
I know.
I'm speaking as the dog, not as
What are you guys doing here?
About to be frozen in whatever it's called, carbonite.
Yeah, carbonite.
No, I think you don't know Star Wars.
Tequila.
Favorite Star Wars movie?
Tequila.
If you say 7 through 9, I'm going to.
No, I was gonna say the third one, but
What's the third one?
well, the third new one.
Star Wars
The
shit.
last one.
Star Wars shit.
I just wanted to know what she considered the third one to be.
What do you consider the third one to be?
Toxic
Huh?
enough.
You consider the third one to be?
The third one is Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
But what number is that?
6.
6.
Okay, that would be my favorite.
But the first one is 4, so it's like
Right.
It's like a Rush song.
I was just gonna give you a hard time either way, no matter
But
what
you
you
can't
say.
now because I answered it correctly.
You did.
So.
You did.
I've
Well, what's
Star
Adam's
Wars-
favorite Star Wars?
Star Wars.
You have to say it's clearly The Last Jedi, obviously.
Done.
New bass player? No. You play guitar.
I play guitar.
Okay.
And then my song, so I'm out,
Evan,
guys.
question.
What are you gonna do with my
Pop
songs?
the door open to do the air conditioning. And
Oh, and the dog took off. Sorry, Adam's
Wow.
mom is upstairs.
I play them and sing them.
I'm sorry.
Okay, tell me again about the Out There.
So we were
Name.
standing in the kitchen at our house, and Paul has these giant cabinets full of Beatles memorabilia and posters everywhere, and all this other shit like that. And I was just reading stuff off of there. We were trying to think of a band name, and I'm like, what if we named it something Paul McCartney related, not Beatles related, but Paul McCartney related, just to be kind of off to the side. And there's this lunchbox that says Paul McCartney Out There tour or something like that.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why don't we just call ourselves Out There? And Paul's like, how about The Out There? And it was sold. That was
Nice.
it. So from a lunchbox, basically, we named ourselves after a lunchbox.
You could have been the octopus's garden. You know, that could have been a lot worse.
Exactly.
That's hard to fit on a shirt, though. It's
Yeah.
too long a word.
Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this interview because I just learned something about my own band.
What else can I inform you about?
Yeah.
Out there behind the story.
Writing this shit down like lunchbox, all right? Cool.
I was gonna make a yellow submarine joke, but it's kind of tasteless. So.
You
Why
would sink
stop
that
now?
low.
Oh no.
Although I wouldn't want the
You're all
interview to
those
implode upon
videos.
itself.
I get it, yes. Oh, man, alive.
That was deep.
Sure was.
That's what she said.
This is
Ocean Gate.
This will be a good one to edit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I have to ask you about the whole genre of pop punk.
Mhm.
Mm.
Is that like a new generation term? Because that's not something that we would be familiar with, really. Punk, yes. Pop, yes. But pop
So,
punk?
by new generation, Dan played pop punk 20 years ago, and we're playing it again.
And I was playing a genre that was already like 15 years old at that point. So like
So we're at a little bit before.
pop punk kind of happened with I want to say like the Descendants were kind of one of the first
Mhm.
pop punk bands. Just like basically punk bands that introduced a sense of like pop sensibility into their songs.
So is it more radio friendly? Is that?
Right. Well, like more accessible, not necessarily radio friendly. Because there's a lot of pop punk bands that never get played on the radio.
Like
But-
us.
Yeah, that's exactly. But like, you know, then you had bands in the '90s, like like Green Day, for example, was like the first like really big like pop punk band. Some
Yeah.
people would just call them punk, but they're pop punk because they have, they have catchy choruses, they have harmonies. There's like song structure there. It's not avant-garde. You don't have to be like into underground music or alternative music to enjoy it. Like you can be, if it was 1994 and Dookie came out, you could be into Nirvana and then like hear Green Day and go, oh, I get this, I like this, I'm gonna buy that record, and then I mean, of course, like Blink-182, they basically are like the biggest. They're like the Metallica of pop punk.
Yeah.
Like they just are the biggest pop punk band of all time. There's like there's no topping them, and but then you've got bands like Newfound Glory and The Starting Line, and there's all this shit that happened like basically between like 1998 and like I would say like 2010, 2012, somewhere around there, that like was like the golden age. But there's still stuff coming out now. Like there's there's bands like A Story Told that has a song that I really love called Never Around that is like just, it's so catchy and so saccharine. It's like Def Leppard. Like where you hear a song and then you can't get that song out of your head, so much so that you just put it on repeat for like 3 weeks until you want to vomit. It's fantastic.
You hear that? We're like Def Leppard.
Yeah.
I didn't say us. I didn't say us.
No, you're not yet.
No.
Well, I'm not gonna say it.
I also,
I'm not gonna say it.
but I also didn't say our songs are catchy, so it's fine.
Hey!
So is
Right.
that a genre? Just knowing, I'm not sure what your musical tastes are yet, but knowing the three of you guys, like I feel like you guys have a super eclectic, varied range of interests and talent.
Yeah,
Would you agree with that?
absolutely.
So was this something that all four of you, like a genre that all four of you were on board with right away, or did you know right away this is what you wanted to do? This type of music?
I mean,
Or did that come with the songwriting, or does that come with just
so
getting to know each other better? How did that come about?
going back to the Pretty Blurs, Colin and mine's band before the Out There, like the music that we were writing was not at all like this. It was very like new wave orientated and stuff, and like eventually I started bringing all these riffs in where it sounded like Blink-182 or Descendants kind of thing, and it didn't fit the band, and so that's why we ended up doing something else, because it didn't sound like the Pretty Blurs anymore.
Okay.
So very like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, like think of a skate park, think of mozzarella sticks, think of any of that. That's what we're about,
There's no horns, dude. There's no mozzarella.
Yes, 'cause you want to make
mozzarella
a-
sticks are irrelevant.
You won't let me make a ska record for some reason.
They're mozzarella.
Not so relevant.
But like, as far as the different tastes of music go, or like different styles we're into, it's very easy to tell when Colin wrote a song versus when I wrote a song.
This is true.
His songs are complicated. Mine are very like, this is how you play the song.
Yeah.
He's talented. I'm a hack.
Right. Like Paul's songs are like like a MapQuest or like MapQuest. Like
What's that?
Apple Maps where it's like all freeway and there's like one turn. And like Colin's songs are like that guy that rides his bike with the GPS tracker and like draws a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That's a very good description.
Interesting.
So when you guys said that, you know, you each wrote songs, did you each individually write the lyrics and the music, or collab on the music, or how did that work?
And it seems to be like we each write a song or most of an idea of a song, bring it to the band, and the band fills out the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the songs that we have, because when we play our show this Monday,
Yeah, 10th.
the
Yeah.
10th,
In
most of the
circlet
songs
here.
we're playing is Paul just started fucking firing out songs. just over.
It's like someone turned the fucking tennis ball machine on high.
So are you guys gonna be playing all your own?
We're playing the whole record
Yeah.
live. Plus,
And it was ready to
we're-
cover, right?
Yeah,
Not the whole
one of
record.
Colin's songs and then two
we're
covers.
missing one song.
And two covers?
Two covers, but yeah,
Cool.
We're
primarily.
playing two, right? I think I'm ready.
Yes.
Well,
Two?
because we stole Dirt from you, because that's an other song now.
Well, we'll see.
We
He's
have
like, I'm writing another record as we speak right now.
Yeah.
According to BMI.
Yeah.
Bowel Movements
Cool.
International, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so with that being said, we're playing the entire record of ours that's just coming up, minus one song. We're playing a Blink-182 cover of, was it Vandals cover? No, Vaseline's cover. Not Vandals, we're not that cool.
Yeah.
Vaseline's cover.
Well, it's a cover.
We're doing two Colin Brody Campbell covers.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun show, for sure.
Definitely.
So you guys released Wednesday,
Yeah.
early June. Who wrote Wednesday?
Mr. Martinez.
Yeah, I did. I looked at the calendar, I'm like, yep, this is it.
This is it.
The lyrics are all right there.
And then I was like, no, it needs to be faster.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The song originally was like, Sunday will just go to... And I was like, no, Sunday will just go to... Like, oh, I'm flipping the heck out of that.
Did you yell 165? 165!
That song's 180.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was like 140 before that.
And I was like, no, we are a punk band, emphasis on punk. Let's play fast.
Yeah.
Like Lee from Fear says, Lee Vane. He's like, well, it's punk rock.
Yeah.
Sing a lot of notes, we just play them faster so you get them in shorter spaces. Or whatever.
We actually-
I'm paraphrasing.
Just a couple days ago, changed our only ballad to. We just decided to ramp that up to we now have 0 ballads.
Yeah.
Well, because it was like the song where everyone was gonna go to the bathroom, and it's like, let's not make
Very
that.
true.
Yeah.
Let's not do
that's
that.
It was a beautiful song, guys.
Yeah.
It still is a beautiful song. It's just a fast, beautiful
You know,
song.
it'll work well, if you guys, when you're, 20 years, and you go back on tour, and you need to do something acoustically.
Yeah.
That'll be the one.
We play the
So
original
bad.
version, sell it as the reimagined.
It'll be like Paul's version.
Yeah.
It was like that singing that thing you do, where it's like, it's a ballad! It's a ballad! What? Can't hear you! Can't hear you!
Sorry, it's a hit.
So you mentioned July 10th at Red Dwarf,
Mhm.
and you have another one booked for October
October 23rd. I'm sorry to Jennifer, because that's my anniversary.
Oh, that's a great place to spend your
Great,
anniversary.
Yeah, she thinks so too.
I mean, the pizza is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
A
me?
little casual
Chuck E.
on it.
Cheese? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's not. Is it really?
No, he said the pizza was fantastic. I just
At
assumed
Red
it was
Dwarf.
Chuck
Chuck E. Cheese?
No, we're gonna be the rats.
Red Dwarf
The rat
actually,
family.
Red Dwarf actually has like a legit pizza kitchen.
Do
They
they?
make like super legit Detroit style pizza, and it's oh my god, it's so good.
We should go there for our anniversary.
Go there for
You
mine.
guys can play. Yeah, we'll come for yours for sure. So, how do you feel about the venues that are open to playing your type of music?
I mean,
Like, is that something that you're coming across? Is
I
it
think
pretty open?
the nice thing about this band, and one of my favorite things since I've joined, is that like we all have these established gigs that we're not trying to mess with. They get to play like those stages down at Fremont are amazing. The crowds on there, I know they can be chaotic, but like they're full crowds every night. There's something going on. It's one of the most famous parts of Las Vegas. The canopy's there. So they got these great gigs. Like I've got this great showroom at the Rio that I've been at for a decade now. So just playing what we want. It's fun to just go to a dive bar.
Oh, big
that's
time.
just like
Right.
we actually when we were searching venues, a couple ones we threw out to each other, like, what if we got to connect here or make a phone call here? We're like, these are too nice. Like,
Yeah,
I
way
want
too
to
nice.
play like the shittiest.
Yeah.
In all respect to the Red Dwarf, but they, you know what I mean? Like, I want a corner bar
Yeah.
that has nothing in it except for dirty glasses and old Jameson, you know, and that's what we're
We are
doing right
familiar
now.
with a few of those.
Yeah.
Or like we go in and turn up so loud that we peel the paint off the walls.
Anything left? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Do the bathroom test. Like, look in the bathroom. How grungy is it?
Yeah.
You know, like, are we gonna play here? I don't know. They just cleaned it about an hour ago. We can't do it.
Yeah.
How many stickers were there?
Right, if there's less than 400 stickers on the wall, then we can't play.
Yeah. Like, look at the toilet. What's gonna kill me? The fentanyl or the germs?
Yeah, go to the dive bar. There's plenty of stickers.
It's not
around.
open anymore.
I know, I
If you
know.
wanna up your game from the dive bar, go to the double down.
Double down, then.
You,
I haven't been there.
You get a free case of syphilis just for walking in the door.
We're not hung enough to enter the double down.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Double down,
They're
shocking.
like, you have a roach infestation, and the bartender's like, yeah, they're called our customers.
We have to leave that in, but we're gonna beep out the double down words. Oh my goodness.
Like fuck.
No,
No,
it's double down.
the establishment's name.
But it's great because there's a murder mart like right across the street from the Double Down where you can like go get like the world's shittiest frozen burritos, but they're so awesome when you're hungry.
Yeah.
But you also might be like privy to like a robbery while you're getting your burrito, and it's awesome.
It's entertainment.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
that scene from
Dinner
Fast
and
and
for the
Furious
free
One.
show.
Yeah.
Like the guy that grabs the coffee and throws it on the robber.
Holy smokes.
Was that your first question? I forget.
I don't know, I lost track. I had some questions, but now I'm just like, whatever, I'm just gonna have
lost.
to go off the cuff. So, you like to play, you wanna play dive bars. Do you have anything, are you gonna stack some other shows in between July and October? Is that your hope?
Yeah, ideally.
If it were up to me, we'd play every single day for 8 hours a day. But
Dear God.
exactly.
Still gotta pay the bills, huh?
No, he's paying my bills. It's okay.
Exactly.
Nice.
He's like, man, I go on tour. I'm like, dude, I gotta stay home and pay your bills, man. I'm sorry.
So where are you guys at with recording? You did Wednesday. Have you done anything else?
The drums have been
Why are you
done.
laughing about it?
Just because.
The drums have been half done for like 6 months.
Oh,
And then Colin's song, we recorded it wrong because he forgot how it went. And
He just didn't want to say, Dan, you're playing too hard here.
so, you know, but
we these guys were nice enough to go back because it's when I came in the band, Paul was playing lead guitar before, so he switched more. I mean, there's songs where each of us have solos and take lead. It's pretty equitable, but there was, since he has a lot of the singing duties, I was happy to play more lead, and a lot of the songs were already written when I came in, but they've let me have a little bit of freedom in layering some stuff over and finding cool leads or harmonies or things like that. So, but I'll a little, just a little,
Not much.
yeah, just the right amount of leash for me. But yeah, so we've just been like, I've been learning these songs and they've been relearning and revisiting, and we've kind of been, restructuring them as the 4-piece we are now, and with the main focus being on this show. So I think after this we'll probably look at a little more of getting the stuff really recorded and locked down. Another goal is to get a vinyl record, just to have one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a huge collector of vinyl, so it's my goal to have my own record on vinyl, well, our own record, I should say. We did go through some personnel changes originally.
just one.
Well, just one,
you were 4, then you went back to 3, and now you're 4 again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So Wednesday actually is a 3-piece recording. I do all the guitars for that, and that's why they sound the way they do. He would have done it way better, but we had the whole record recorded drum wise probably in December, you would say.
I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, something like that. Like definitely like towards the end of the year, and then we were gonna go and do all our stuff, and we were doing all the tracking, and then we had the personnel change, and now Ryan's coming up with so many great parts, and it's just better to rewrite them as a band.
Oh.
So
That makes sense.
we're working on the next song, which Colin actually sings, and that one's called "With You," and that should be out maybe in like 2-3 months if we can get it together.
Sweet.
Me, I'm the problem. But yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I'm like, hey guys, I wrote a new song. Colin's like, hey, we need to finish the songs we already wrote, buddy.
Focus.
Yeah.
Is it just timing? Like getting schedules all?
I'm just so scatterbrained, It's just like, hey, like I have all this new stuff we want to do, and he's really the guy that's like, we should.
Plus, you just have
Paul and his wife also just had their second
Yeah,
child.
you just had a child.
Oh, that,
You know?
yeah, I forgot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and you know, we're all, you know, very, very fortunate to be working a lot.
Yeah,
And, you know,
definitely.
these guys freelance a ton with their music stuff, and I'm, you know, like I said, not only my show, but I train all the guys for the show. My show's trying to expand to a few different U.S. cities. They're trying to get the European tour going again. I'm responsible for training all the guys and all that stuff. So every once in a while, you got a rehearsal, you got your kid here, I got to run here, so we squeeze in rehearsals when we can. But I think the focus right now has been rehearsing and not recording. I think, especially after this show, and feeling like we, you know, really got our heads around these songs a little more, be more focused on putting them down.
Will this be your very first show?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you get that under your belt, you'll kind of have something.
I've never played an original show before. This is my first one ever.
I haven't either, actually.
You either? Wow. So just
Dude, this is my second band.
And I've been in both. You love me.
Yeah, that's right. 2 for 2, baby.
Yeah.
Or 0 for 2, depending on how you look at it.
When was your first original show?
20, when I was 22. So in Jersey, just doing the Jersey scene, which is there's a lot of good bands coming out of Jersey, but just I feel like the scene, just going to local shows is not what it used to be, you know. So, I mean, what my experience with going out and playing, like, you know, the City or New York or any of the cities in Jersey, it's just like, you know, it's like kind of like the small communities. We all get together with buds and we go and jam at the local dives, but it's just the community's not what it used to be. I feel like in the '90s, or like when I started prominently playing. So making the move out here was definitely the best situation for me musically, to just meet people with the same mind frame who want to dedicate themselves to music in whichever way they want. But it's really the drive of the people that I'm surrounded with that make me want a better musician, but also get to where I want to be, you know, musically. And I feel, I mean, like I said, I've played a couple in original groups out here, and the scene out here is definitely better. Like, it just, unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure there's great spots in Jersey where people like show up and show out, but in my experience, it was kind of like, all right, well, it's fun hobby, but nothing can be. I mean,
I think
you gotta get out of your hometown, I feel, to learn stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys have touched on this in your podcast a bunch, but I think Vegas has always had a very underrated music scene.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it
I
trickles
think
down
it's being so close to California, and
Yeah.
to get compared to that, that's I think
Sure.
the problem.
Well, the level of musicianship here, you know, on like the most technical level, you know, when all these shows are running, when you have, you know, Cirque du Soleil with live bands, like when Celine Dion had her show, and, you know, all these like incredible musicians, then during the week they go play their passion projects, and then that kind of trickles down, and then, you know, all the gigs for, you know, corporates, and, you know, how much, you know, afternoon bands and things like that can work and live here, and then, you know, there's a reason groups, you know, like the Killers and Panic and even Five Finger, you know, all these guys have come out of Vegas and you know.
Don't forget about Slaughter, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I noticed the community in the scene seems very eager to help each other out here. Like, especially with like another band of ours that are friends of ours, Crimson Riot, Roxy Gunn, and Misery Dipped in them. They're like holding our hand, well, at least my hand, throughout the entire process of this. Like, you should write songs this length. You should, you know.
And that's the whole. I feel like that's the whole point of being in an original band, or just like making music, creating, is helping each other out as you know, finding your crew, and then being like, oh, let's make this show. Like, you know, your question, like where do you want to play, or what places? I think it's more like, who are we going to play with, and what place can we all get together and play a showcase, you know?
It's way different than the cover scene. It's very cutthroat, you know, like everyone's like, that's my gig sort of thing, and it's more like, no, like, hey, let's play a show together.
Because there's, you know, we're doing it for the love of music, we're not like, I don't know,
It's very refreshing.
It's a little off topic, but I get the same comment. Like I said, I grew up in the dance scene around here from the 80s through my parents to now, and I get the same comment about Vegas in the dancer community out here as well. Like, people from LA, people from New York, they're like, oh my God, like, when they're new to the city, they're like, the people like actually told me about auditions, you know? Like New York, they're like, anything coming up? They're like, nope, you know? They're like, I actually had like people take me under their wing and kind of show me, you know, where to find listings for this and tell me what agencies to join up with. And so I do think this town has a lot more, I mean, we know this, but that this town has a lot more community than outsiders think it does.
Yeah, good
And
camaraderie.
yeah, good camaraderie and helpful artists, you know, that don't want to, there's always going to be poisonous people, but I think this town has less of them than your average community.
Yeah.
Do you find that you get more, or not more, I don't know if that's the right word, but, you know, people have mentors and people have, you know, people with like-minded that are at the same stage. Do you find that you get a bit of both of that? Do you have mentors, or is it more, do you feed off of each other more?
He's my mentor.
Do you know it?
I look up to him for everything.
No, it's weird because, you know, like, especially like with what I do in alter ego, that whole thing happened by accident. I was actually in 2011. I quit playing music. I quit trying to make it in music, and I actually quit for like 6 or 7 months. And then my friend Zach Bryan convinced me to do a studio date with him. And I was like, oh my god, I forgot what it's like to have fun playing music. So I started playing in a couple of bands again and did the whole thing. But I wasn't like trying to make it. Like, I was just trying to have fun playing music. And I had a band called Crazy Chief that I really loved. And we actually won the Las Vegas Film Festival with our music video for a song called Angel Dust. Look it up on YouTube, Crazy Chief, Angel Dust. Dennis Wozniakovich, I think that's how you say his name, directed it. And it's a really cool video. Like, you know, we sacrifice a girl in the middle of a stone pentagram. I get stabbed by a guy on a horse. It's awesome.
So wholesome.
Yeah.
But
Real family oriented.
but yeah, so like I was just doing that, and like I've done records for a label group called Shrapnel Label Group since about 2013. And they hooked me up with this guy named Greg Howe, who's a fusion guitar player, and I spent some time touring with him, and that's actually where me and my bass player Kevin Vecchione came from. And it was like one of those things where like I was working in like high-end Western wear. It's the boots. This is like the cheapest pair of boots I own. But I was working in high-end Western wear. Kevin was driving a cab, and Greg knew Peter Monroy because this is how like intertwined and like what a small town Vegas is. Greg knew Peter Monroy from Spandex Nation because Tommy Cameron from the Tony Marcus band used to be in Peter's band Monroy and had taken lessons from Greg Howe.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
So like it's like one of those things where like everything just kind of lined up, and he put Kevin on a sub gig with that band. And then, you know, Kevin's an amazing bass player, and so then that was his gig. And the same thing happened with me, where Kevin then got me in on a sub gig, and then all of a sudden it was my band. And then it went from me working 5 days a week and playing 2 nights a week, and like I was playing at a church at the time for some extra money, to like all of a sudden I didn't have time for anything, and I had to quit all my jobs. And then it's just kind of been full time ever since like basically the middle of 2015 on Fremont Street. It was like a total accident. So like not necessarily a mentor, but it's like one of those things where you just never know when you meet somebody what they're going to, the impact that they're going to have on your life, your career, and so on and so forth. But back to the music scene in Vegas, you know, I've been playing original shows here in Vegas since about 2001, and you know, I've played everywhere from like the Cheyenne Saloon to, you know, the Henderson Pavilion to, I mean, everywhere in town basically. Like, and there were all these all ages venues in town, and I was in a screamo band, screamo. You know, it was like one of those things where you didn't call yourself screamo back then because that was like the poser term. So we were post-hardcore. But yeah, so I was
so much worse.
I was the singer of that band. It's true though. But
Is it Cedar Drive?
Yeah, it was a singer of a band called Cedar Drive, and I still have the nickname Cedar Dan in some circles. But at the time, like you could play a coffee shop, and like 350 kids would show up and like line up around the coffee shop to get into the show, to see all the local bands that they loved. And the problem is that at the time, the punk and the hardcore scenes were very much intertwined. Nowadays, hardcore is kind of more of its own thing. Because of what ended up happening, we had these, they were called crews, and I'm sure that they still have them, but I haven't been in that scene for a very long time. But the two main ones in Vegas were called DFC, which stood for Death First Crew. They used to be a straight edge crew, but then they all broke edge, so it went from ex-DFCX to just DFC. But then there was also 24 from Arizona, and these groups of hardcore kids were so violent they were considered gangs by Metro and by the Utah police and the Arizona police and California police and all that stuff. And they just basically fought and hurt and almost killed each other so much that one by one all of the all ages venues in Vegas slowly got shut down. And so by the time 2010 rolled around, it's like if you wanted to play a local show, you were gonna like go set up on the floor at Yayo Taco and hope people showed up. So now seeing it come back full circle where there's like places to play and people go to shows and like people enjoy original music and they go out to see their friends play, it's really really nice.
Yeah, well, and Vegas, it's been said, Vegas is the cover tribute capital, right?
Vegas hates original music is what I always love to say.
Yeah, but do you find that you're getting the support from locals if you do go play a show at these dive bars? Or
We'll find out.
Well, yeah, I guess you'll find out.
Yeah.
Because we try to go to a lot of local, we probably do 3 to 4 shows a week.
Right.
Trying to see local, and we run into a lot of the same people. Vegas is a small town.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of locals. Sometimes we feel like that's too bad that people visiting don't get to see that part of Vegas.
But they don't know about it.
But they don't know about it. That's kind of what we said that a few times on our show too, like that. Yeah, we didn't know about it even.
It's like one of those things, like my senior year in high school, for example, I was in an emo band called Ophelia, and we would play, like, at that point, it wasn't like you would go to a show and it was 5 emo bands. Like we would play a show with a reggae band called Goldfish Don't Bounce, or GDB as they were known. And then some band from like Massachusetts called like Jupiter Sunrise, like once a month, like they would just come to Vegas and we'd play this tiny little hot dog shop right across from UNLV. The building is still there, but the hot dog shop is obviously not still there, but it's called Doggy Style. It was next to it. It's called Cafe Roma. And like
Cafe Roma is my name.
Right? So like that building, just on the other side of it, Cafe Roma's at this end and Doggy Style was at this end. And like again, the place would be so packed that the windows would be fogged with condensation from everybody sweating inside the venue. So it's like it's really nice to see like people like supporting like they used to. Things might not be that packed anymore, but COVID.
But it isn't just a casino town,
No, exactly.
There's so
much culture in Vegas that we don't realize.
Growing up here, I don't know if you guys remembered when Wet n Wild was on the Strip.
Oh,
Yes.
So I'm a kid, I'm waiting in line, going up Der Stuka.
Oh, Der Stuka!
Remember that?
And Bombay.
The 1, 2 drop.
Yeah.
And these, we were waiting in line and people behind us. So, which one of these you live in? What do you mean? Well, doesn't everyone live in the hotels here? I'm like, didn't you see all those lights when you flew in?
Right.
I still get that question
Do you?
today. Yeah. We have a meet and greet after show nightly in our bar, and well intentioned, but like, you guys live? I'm like, I know you flew here.
Right.
There's 45 minutes of city before you land.
Yeah,
But you do live in the Rio, be fair.
If I lived in the Rio, I would immediately jump off.
And same thing. I moved here in 2000 when I was 14, and like my friends, I'm from Clearwater, Florida originally. Born in Fort Lauderdale, but I grew up in Clearwater. And my friends from Clearwater would call me and be like, "So what casino are you living in?" And I'm like, "I live in a house like 30 miles outside of Vegas in a town called Boulder City, and it's on top of this giant hill, and I can play my drums any time of day. It's fantastic."
Nice.
And I'm like,
I just don't get it.
yeah. We eat shrimp cocktail for breakfast,
Yeah.
Even the
99 cent
15-year-old
shrimp cocktail.
Yeah.
Even the 15-year-old
$5.99 steak for dinner.
Yeah.
bottomless mimosas for the 15-year-olds.
I'd pick the South Point then. That's where I live.
Exactly,
Me and my girl recently just discovered what a
Steaks.
South Point is.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, when I was like 21, I remember we used to go to the South Point like in the middle of the night because after midnight they had dollar beers and dollar bowling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Still, after midnight.
They still do?
After midnight.
Dollar
yeah.
beers though,
Yep.
still?
Yep.
Still? $1.
$3.45 at breakfast.
That's amazing.
We used to do that at that's how I worked Jubilee.
Oh, yeah?
In 03. And we used to on 2 show, or every night was a 2 show night. It would finish just after midnight, and we'd go, it was at Bally's, and we'd go right up the street to Gold Coast, because they had the same deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dollar drinks, dollar game. We, just go in there with like $20 and just get hammered, play like 5 rounds of bowling, thumbs are bleeding, like, yeah. It's the best time.
Also, so it's been said, thank you for the logo, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Adam made our band logo.
Really?
Yeah.
Great job, man.
I'm learning so many things about my own band today. This is amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's get to that sheet. Ask us some
I
questions that you wanted to
There's a
ask.
sheet?
I'm sorry. We all just like,
We
this
like
is what it's like at
tangents.
practice
Yeah.
too. We never get anything done.
Okay.
So we're all
Have
kind
enough
of talking
breadcrumbs
shit
to get
each
home.
other.
I really did. I mean, some of them are dorky. Like,
We're
Okay.
Very dorky.
Yeah.
is there going to be a guest list at the door? Is there cover charge?
No,
I'm just
no,
kidding. Is
no
there-
cover,
is there
21 and
like-
over.
Yeah.
No, I mostly just wanted to know like how.
I think if there's the opposite of a guest list, I think there's going to be like homeless encouraged.
Yeah.
Um,
Or people banned. Did you
Yeah.
have people that are not allowed to come get like that? They have to get a hard time coming to the door.
My former guitar player actually used to refer to Fremont Street as the world's largest open-air homeless shelter. So, former guitar player.
Yes.
He's not associated with us anymore. So
We love Fremont. You guys might have seen us there once or twice.
No.
Never.
We do like Fremont. It's cheap. It's free.
We know the bartender at
Small.
Small.
We know the band.
I love Paul.
Yep.
Well,
I love you too.
we have a lot of Pauls in our life.
Paul's daughter's about a year older than mine, so.
Not mine.
Trying to
Other
think
Paul.
who's.
Pauly T.
Oh, Wednesday. Wednesday video. That wasn't any of your. No,
That was
your
Orgo's
niece.
daughter,
Yes.
my
Yeah.
brother,
Right.
my niece.
Right.
Yep.
We asked
Video's
my
great.
daughter to do it, but she said no.
How old is she?
5.
5.
And my niece
No,
is
I don't
like
want to be part of this.
chomping at the bit, like, please ask me.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
ask me. She had so much fun.
Where'd you guys shoot that video?
Studio 14, just like a basic photo studio that's out here right behind Area 15.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Super cool. Yeah, we did a photo shoot there for our promo photos, and then like we do video services too. So
Perfect.
we went
Came
back
the
there
next
and,
week, yeah.
and did it. Yeah.
And then who came up with the concept? Sorry. I mean, were you just jumping on board with the whole Wednesday craze?
So
kind of?
the song actually wasn't supposed to be like
Right.
Wednesday, whatever. I had the verses written, but not a chorus. And when I was writing stuff in my notebook, I believe it was Coco I was watching Wednesday
Yeah.
on Netflix, the Netflix show. And so I was like, I'll just call it Wednesday right now because we do this thing where we just call a song whatever, and then we'll just kind of fill in the blanks from there. And Wednesday was the working title, and then it just ended up becoming like part of the chorus and all that stuff, and it
Pretty
just sort of
exciting.
stuck.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I was like, we're not going to reference the show. We're not going to reference the show. No Addams Family. And of course, my niece has the pigtails, and it's in black and white and all that stuff, and it goes to it. But the video was more or less about making fun of the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, like the old American Bandstand, Ed Sullivan, black and white, like kind of, hey, this is how we play. We're pretty and all that stuff. And
We're good boys.
yeah, it seems to be a little bit lost on some people, but when people were talking about how the Beatles were evil and all that stuff, they crept in the youth.
Yeah.
So in the video, we're wearing makeup. We're like supposed to look like kind of dead or evil in a way. And
I'm like a gothic ultimate warrior. It's
yeah,
fantastic.
what was your name? David Lee Goth or something like that?
That's
David Lee Goth.
David Lee Goth.
So
I don't hate it.
Yeah, we all kind of end up finding our own
That
characters.
name actually comes. So I write the set lists for my band Alter Ego, and I name them like just zany things, and that was one of the set list names was David Lee Goth.
So the video starts with my niece, the kid, just watching the TV show. She's totally normal and all that stuff. We start playing on TV. She's obviously, into it. Well, that's because she has to be. She's into it, and then by the end of it, we have corrupted her, and she has the same makeup as us. Kind of like how they said the Beatles were corrupting the youth and all that stuff.
And I think that's the part that most people kind of forgotten, like the Beatles, because they laid out the song structure and the way we think of rock songs the way they are now. I think a lot of people don't realize, like, especially when you hear some early Beatles works, it feels so like G and PG
Yeah.
compared to today's music, and
Yeah, but they had
you forget
long
how
hair.
like
Right.
That was the biggest thing.
Not even long hair, but like hair that just touched their
Yeah.
collars.
Yeah.
Yep.
And oh my god, their hair's above their neck.
It reminds me of that Dewey Cox scene. Have you seen Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, the song is called Take My Hand, and the priest is like, the devil has hands, and they're for holding. But yeah, so essentially we're making fun of the Beatles.
Okay.
So that's what it's about. Not about the Ant family.
Not about the episode.
No.
Yeah.
It's like a piss take, you know?
Oh my god.
What else we got on that little?
I finished my list. I just want to know more.
Oh, that was it?
about- Yeah, I finished it a long time ago. I mean, I've kind of learned not to make a list, and then, well, after today, I'm not gonna make a list. It's just easier not making a list.
Well, that works.
I just wanted to know more about how, like how you're. Okay, well, this. Don't laugh at me, but if I came to you guys with a song, I would be so scared of getting laughed at. Do you ever feel that way with each other? Like, how does that?
Every time I bring a new song to the band, they laugh.
How do you get past
No.
that? I guess, or how is it? Are you intimidated by each other ever, or is it pretty?
No, Paul will like bring me lyrics and he'll be like, what do you think of this? And I'll be like, all right, let's edit this real quick. Like, and I'll just like kind of like English teacher his lyrics, you know what I mean? Like, so like, all right, we get rid of this word, put this here, move this around, and then it'll say what you want to say better. But like, we like help each other out.
That's good.
Like, it's a team effort, you know? Like, it's like one of those things where like, even like I was just messing around on the guitar the other day and I showed Paul what I was doing and he turned it into like this whole thing. So it's like, you know, like you can kind of, it's an open forum basically. Like everybody respects everybody else and like it's not like if it sucks, it'll be like, that's not great.
Yeah.
But like, it won't be like, you suck. It'll be like, that's not great, you can do better. You know what I mean? Like,
I think everyone in this band is pretty good about being matter of fact, and I think you can tell. I know I'm newer to the music scene, but you can tell when someone's been a professional performer, entertainer for a while, because the idea of like, not even like a note or criticism, but like just like someone having an opinion on one of your ideas. It's not like a new concept. It's
Right.
not like, when I was 19 or 20, hey, what if you move that? Like, oh, they didn't like the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's easy
Yeah.
to get so personal. Like, and something I've always loved about Paul is like, he's pretty frank and pretty direct, but in like a really calm manner. He's like, hey, let's do that again, change the chorus, end on D, flip that. And I'm like, cool. And that's kind of how all four of us operate. Like, hey, instead of this, like, you want to take it down a step and then move this here? It's like, sure. Or, no, I like it how it is. Like, all right. It's pretty.
it's not like one guy writing a song is like, this is my song. It's
Yeah.
like the four of us working together, and you want to make the song the best that you can. So like, it's like you can. When you're telling somebody to change something, you're not saying, you're not saying you suck. You're saying, I think this could be better. Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
It's like it's one of those kind of things.
I do like that. We have we'll try everybody's idea kind
Right.
of approach. It's like, because like even like Wednesday, the only song we have out right now, it was significantly slower, and then Dan's like, hey, let's try and play it faster. And we started a little bit faster than it is on the record now, but then we slowed down and got to where it was. And originally I was supposed to sing the whole thing, and then Colin and I started splitting it, and yeah.
Is there a magic number to song length?
So
That's Peter Frampton.
right, yeah. So the advice that I was mentioning earlier, like Roxy Gunn and Chris Reject, they're helping us out a lot because they've been writing music in this genre a lot longer. They say we should write something along the lines of like 2.5 minutes to 3.5 minutes. Everything I write is like 4 minutes. Colin writes, rock operas.
Yeah.
So, but if you ask Google, it says anything between 2 minutes to 4 minutes is fine for radio play. So.
Yeah. That's something I've had to adjust coming in, because James Hetfield is the reason I picked up a guitar, right? So I was a metalhead, and then I went through like my dream theater phase, and so like, yeah, no, I see your Majesty tattoo. So yeah, like that's, and of course I've always liked pop punk. It's not something I've ever like written in until this band, and it's new to like break down the song structure and the thoughts behind it. And my tendency when I first came in was like, what if we put this cool bridge in, then we loop the chorus in, we could double up, and then the 5th time we do it, we'll add the harmonies here. It's like, dude, 3 minutes. Like,
Freebird, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I gotta add my little nerd reference in because we were talking about the song lengths and stuff, and it reminded me. I'm a really big Billy Joel fan.
Who isn't?
And the song "The Entertainer," he's like, it was a beautiful song, but it ran too long. If you're gonna have a hit, you gotta make it fit, so they cut it down to 3:05.
Oh, wow.
You know, and that was like 1976. I think it was on Turnstiles or the record before that one. But like it, you know, like that was the mid 70s even.
And they still had that thought process. Yeah.
Right, but then you have like the outliers where it's like, you know, like Bohemian Rhapsody. Queen's like, we're not fucking cutting this song down. And the radio was like, all right, the song rules, cool, play it. You know, so it's like it really
Yeah, but
depends.
were they already established when they went to that length, or did they start off that way?
No, they were. That was kind of like their. As far as I know, that was like their first like really big thing. That they did.
Okay.
They were like losing the company money at that point, right?
Right.
They're like, hey, like you need to do something. They're like, yep, opera, here we go.
That's like Rush with friggin' 2112.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the record company was like, we're gonna drop you, and Rush was like, all right, well, we're just, if this is our last record, we're just gonna do what the fuck we want. And then next thing you know, 2112 comes out, and then they're Rush.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, as a listener, someone that you guys don't write music, as far as I know, right? As a listener, like, do you ever feel like, oh, this song's a little long-winded, like maybe I should change it or whatever like that, or?
No,
I don't think so.
No, but just from a writing standpoint, like doing video, I mean, even 3.5 minutes of textual content, it's a lot of words, you know. So that's why I was wondering, how is that process? How do you fit into that?
And I think the nature of this genre lends itself towards shorter songs too.
Right.
You know, the tempos of these songs
Are so
tend to be
fast.
faster, and this
Yeah.
isn't a genre that has a lot of like, you know, multiple tempo changes or multiple key changes, or, you know, that's, you know, why Bohemian Rhapsody is so fascinating, because there's so many elements to this song, and it just winds and winds and winds. That lends itself to a longer adventure, right? Like the fun of a lot of pop punk songs is that, you know, you kind of get your tempo and you're just bouncing to it, and that's the song. Yeah, a little break down the bridge or a little come back out double chorus at the end, but it's going, and to the speed of it, like you get through, you know, your phrase of, 4 lines, 8 lines, however long your verse is, however long your chorus is, you get through those in 20 to 30 seconds, you know?
Yeah.
8 lines can go by like that. At 165.
Right.
I was gonna say, it's like somebody gave the beat, like the early Beatles math, but that already happened. So.
Yeah.
I'd even argue our songs are a bit long for this genre,
Yeah.
stereotypically. Usually everything's like 2 minutes flat, and we're well over to 3:30 in almost every one of the songs we have.
Like if you listen to Blitzkrieg Bop, that song is like 2:30, 2:25, something like that. You know what I mean? Like the Ramones, like were the king, and especially live. Like, have you ever listened to the Ramones play Blitzkrieg Bop live?
Oh my god.
Have we ever listened to the Ramones play it live?
Yes.
Yes.
Like it's like so much faster than the
What's on
record.
that one? That's live.
Look at that. But yeah, like it's like they played it like way faster, and it's like 2 minutes flat
Yeah.
because it's so fast. And
I would say we more would think a song was too short than too long. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But back to pop punk, honestly, that's pretty pop punk. Everybody's like, the Ramones are punk, and I'm like, yeah, but they like wanted to be the Beatles. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to be. They wrote songs that had
Yeah.
melodies and hooks, and you know it wasn't noise, and it's like
Got the same haircuts.
people, right? They had same haircuts. They all wore leather jackets that were too small for them that they got in the girls section. You can tell because the sleeves are like halfway up
too
their
short.
arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like. I mean, they literally got their name from Paul McCartney's fake name that he used to check into hotels with, Paul Ramon. So
Did not
Did
know
not know
that.
that.
like
Did not know
that's
that.
the thing. It's like pop punk, like yeah, it really happened in the '90s, but I mean, like the template was already there. It's like how the hair metal thing, that was the template for it.
Yeah.
Like Van Halen did it in '78, and then like everybody followed suit. It just took them a few years to get there.
Yeah. I love that you said you're a fan of Billy Joel.
I love Billy Joel.
And that just, I think that's probably surprising, maybe? Or I don't know.
A lot of people.
Just because because it's this kind of a band now, but
Right.
yeah, like that's a surprising.
Well, it's like I get pegged as a metal guy a lot too. Because
Yeah.
I used to have long hair and I wear a lot of black and like eyeliner and whatever else, and it's like, yeah, but I also like I love Toto and Miles Davis and like I mean everything. Like it's like my stepfather was a flamenco guitarist. Like a really, really good one too. So like like when I first started getting really serious with the drums, like he there's a way of holding the stick called traditional grip, and it's like the way you see all the old school drummers hold it, where like one stick is kind of sideways.
Or like band practice.
Right, exactly. And
Marching band.
He wouldn't let me play a match grip, like holding the sticks the same in both hands, because that's what bonehead rock drummers do, and there was no way he was going to let me be that. So it's like I had to learn all this other stuff, and then I didn't get to like the point where I was playing Dave Grohl stuff until I was like, 14 or 15. So it's like that whole experience kind of like shaped my taste in music, where I was like a lot more open-minded. Like my mom was into bluegrass and my dad was into folk music, and it's like, my stepdad was obviously into like flamenco, and the only two electric guitar players he respected were Al Di Meola and Terry Kath from Chicago. Otherwise, he referred to everybody as three-chord Charlies, chord bangers, and he called electric guitars electric toilet seats. So like
that really shows up in your drumming style, even in our band.
Right.
Like, it was kind of hard saying we're a pop punk band because all our influences are so different, and,
Right.
and it shows like within the music.
Right.
Like I grew up playing country and Tejano music,
Yeah.
with my brother and my father. You grew up playing a bunch of different stuff, and you grew up dancing. So
Right.
What's your inspiration? What's your love? What kind of music did you grow up with?
I
and-
guess alternative. I really I guess most of my inspiration for writing takes a lot from folk music. Like I have a cousin named Larry Campbell who's a very, very prominent folk musician and producer, and it's just kind of, I don't know, I just grew up on that, like Paul Simon and Garfunkel, and a lot of, what's up?
it shows in your music.
Yeah. Well, Paul Simon definitely.
we should do a pop punk version of 15 Ways to Leave It Away.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the
There you
chorus.
go.
Keep customers satisfied. And a lot of 50s, like doo-wop, like Hermits, and Dion Belmont's. So that's most of a lot of harmonies, a lot of background harmonies, but also the 90s alternative and
A lot of skit beats too,
yeah.
all that doo-wop stuff. You think that's a product of being from Jersey?
No, maybe. I mean, Frankie Valli's from Bergenfield, but no, I don't know. It's big harmonies. That's what when I was growing up is just like I love the sound of like singing something and then double and then a triple. Just like what is this wall of sound? This vocal harmony. It's short circuiting my brain.
Yeah, when your record came out, I was listening to it full blast in the house like all day. And my wife Jennifer comes up and she says, is Colin like really into the Beach Boys? Because it really sounds like it.
Yeah, a lot of Brian Wilson as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
But obviously the Beatles too. The Beatles are humongous in my growth, my youth. Like Chili Peppers also is one of my favorite, probably my favorite band. The John Frusciante, the guitarist, is like, I don't know, there's a lot of him in my writing as well. That guy is he's great.
That's why your songs are so shitty.
You don't like John?
No, I'm just kidding. I love to hate on the Chili Peppers.
I like
I feel
SNL
like that's a big thing now, especially Flea. Like people. When I was first picked up the bass, Flea was like my main influence, and then I came here, and then everyone was just like, well, you need to listen to other bassists, and they're right, absolutely correct, but like Flea started getting shit on like all the time.
I say that ironically. I actually
Well, and
respect it.
the thing I
Yeah.
noticed too, most bass players, you two guys are the most animated bass players I've ever seen playing piano.
He's
Because
great.
most of them are just sway back and forth. That's it. Even Kevin. I mean, he's so chill, just kind of going to the music. But
Right.
these two guys, I mean, you look like you're playing guitar, not
But it's
bass.
the background. That's the thing. Is because Kevin's a jazz guy.
True.
Yeah.
And it's
You
like
can
one of those
tell.
things. And like fusion bass players. Speaking of which, like another one of my huge influences, and pretty much anybody who plays drums or bass, Jaco Pastorius, and Weather Report and all that stuff. And it's like But you watch Jocko, it's like he's animated, but it's not like he's not like Eddie, where he's like doing scissor kicks in the air or anything.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, he's not necessarily boring to watch. But his playing is so interesting that you don't fucking care. It's like one of those things where there's a time and a place for everything, and like in rock music, obviously you can be animated and you can be Flea. And you can be, like Mike Dirnt from Green Day or Mark Hoppus from Blink-182, where you're always just like flying through the air and it's fine, But like if you did that like on a fusion gig, people will be like, "What's going on? What are you doing, dude?"
Sure, even like Mark Tremonti's one of my guitar heroes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He puts his foot up on the amp and rips, and that's maybe a little neck, but that's
That's
what
all.
he's playing is so intricate,
That
so
you can't-
interesting. Yeah, and I love Ultra Bridge. I've seen 5 or 6 times, but
Yeah, we just-
but yeah, it's I wouldn't want like if he started spinning his guitar around, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Please stand there and play what you've written. It's amazing.
Well, going back to what you said about being like almost embarrassed or afraid to play in front of somebody, like within the band,
Yeah.
that's how I feel when I play bass in front of Colin. Like, no, because we have such different playing styles, like he's very like lick and run heavy. I'm very just like,
Well, you also don't give yourself enough credit on guitar. Like you're.
Paul,
what you're
I
doing.
would say we can end that sentence early. Paul doesn't give himself enough credit
It-
here
it-
in almost any facet of his life.
Yeah.
but
like I can pick up a bass and do it. And I can pick up guitar and songwrite, but you can get on stage and do both and make it look like okay, this guy knows what he's doing.
Well, thank you. But this kind of ties in with another thing you asked previously on kind of how the band started too. I don't know if you remember, but Colin and I used to sub and co-front
I was just
Original
gonna
Chaos.
say,
yeah.
remember
And
that
was
one day?
That was really like the first time where Colin and I were like, hey, we can do this.
That was probably one of the best
And you know what?
afternoons we ever
It's
had.
one of our highest viewed cover videos.
Well, it's
we
just
have
got
on
spinning
YouTube.
around. He got
Oh,
a singing gig out of it.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I mean, not out of that,
But he sings lead vocals for the Spasmatics now. Like it's crazy just to see how
Yes.
multi-talented all these people are. But playing bass in a video, you can tell like in that video, I'm nervous playing bass in front of Colin.
But you two
Really?
had such great
I am.
chemistry together.
Oh no, man! We were flowing, man. We were just
Yeah,
moving.
it was great.
Well, as a bass player, I'm glad you're the bass player of this band.
I mean, it's like I said, it's a good group of dudes, and it shows.
The chemistry is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll definitely translate on stage too.
And it really elevated once Ryan joined the band too, especially being a guitar player. Like I played all the leads beforehand, but he comes up with stuff that I just couldn't even fathom thinking of doing. Like even the guitar harmony stuff, we have guitar harmony in our songs now, and it's
Which is
great.
It's a fun exercise for me because, like I said, Hetfield was the reason I picked up a guitar, not Kirk Hammett, right? So I loved rhythm playing, and I still do love rhythm playing. And the lead world was kind of a new world for me. Still is a new world for me, but it's actually because I do play guitar in Chippendales. And
Yeah, it's on Instagram. I saw it.
So you do follow Chippendales.
but it's very much it's a very different thing where it's like first I got to show the audience that I'm really playing and not pantomiming, right? And then after that it's be as loud and as fast and as flashy. It's like the worst Eddie Van Halen impersonation you've ever seen, which is like a little tap in here and then a quick run here. It's like it doesn't serve music or the song at all. It's to be like, look at and it's great for that. But it's first of all that's just kept my chops up just every day. Just kind of I try to use a couple different techniques every day while I'm keeping everything fresh. But then like in getting back into songwriting, which I've not really done as a lead player ever. I'm fresher than ever, and I'm seeing my fretboard clearer than I've ever seen. So it's fun to jump in with these guys. There's so many good ideas always going around. Usually, I just kind of like piggyback off one of them, and then they say something nice to me, and it's.
I will say it's easy to write with you guys because everyone is very compositionally minded. Like you look at the guitar, like, hey, what would serve the song, like you said, and
Yeah.
a
It's
lot
fun
of
to be
guys
able
would
to
think
think
that
that way.
link, but
Right.
you're like, no, like this lick should be here because it serves the melody or whatever like that.
Right.
Dan is a library of music and of different styles. Like we have a song called For You, which we joke around and say it's not a Cure song because everything I write sounds like.
By the way, I think we have so many songs with the word "you," and I still
There's
for
two.
you, to you,
There's two.
be you, you,
Two.
you two, to you, voodoo, to
R2D2.
R2D2.
But like, there's a moment in that song where it's the pre-chorus where Dan goes into this police-esque sort of thing. He's a huge Stuart Copeland fan, and he's like doing like rim shots and like sort of like almost a reggae kind of feel in a punk song.
Wow.
You know, and it's really cool that everyone can think of something compositionally, whether it's Green Day sounding or not.
And that's, I think, what the beauty of music is. You know, you have to kind of label yourself as this type of band, but you still have that freedom to do whatever you want. You
Right.
know, it's just as long as it sounds good, you know. But unfortunately, from marketing, you got to have that label of, okay, there's a punk band or a rock band or whatever, you know.
Right.
We're too old for this genre anyway to be marketed, so.
And
I disagree.
Never too old.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, if you have the idea and it works, then it works. You know? It's like one of those, you can do whatever you want. Art is the most subjective thing in the world.
Yep.
Like, there are no rules. I mean, there's, you know, what is it? Like, forget the guy's name, but the band's called Panther Burns. And if you listen to it, it's like, it makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. And you're like, what? But then there's people that absolutely worship them. You know, I mean, there's only 5 of them, but there's people that absolutely worship them.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's like art is the most subjective thing ever, you know? I mean, like, some people look at a Picasso painting and they're like, this looks like a 3-year-old drew this, what the fuck? And then other people look at it and they see all this beauty and all this
Start
color.
crying.
Well,
Yeah.
I've been listening to Sleep Token lately. Have you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
heard of them?
Yeah.
So like,
Nice.
I just,
Sleep 2 is such a
just
great genre.
go down that wormhole.
Yeah.
Their latest album is, but the point of that band is like, good luck using any genre to describe them, song to song and moment to moment. It's like, you're gonna need a dictionary.
But again, marketing-wise, they get marketed as a metal band.
Right. Which
Okay.
it's like if
Which they're not.
they're like a
the-
trance metal, maybe
It's
ethereal.
like if you mix like the
stream.
Deftones with like fusion and like animals as leaders, and then like,
And, like,
soul
but, like,
music.
Gautier was singing it.
Right. Like, it's
But
such
if
a
he could
weird
scream,
thing.
and, like I don't.
Which reminds me, have you seen the
or
fart
Hosier.
video?
It's like if Hosier could scream. What's that?
Have you seen the fart video?
No.
Oh, there's the I forget what song it is, but Sleep Token's playing this song and it's like this soft, pretty part, and he's singing all soulfully, and there's a space in the music, and it's being filmed from the crowd, and it's like, and like the thing stops, and then you just hear. Somebody in the crowd just picked that moment and just ripped the loudest fart they possibly could.
But that's sort of happening now, like, especially, what's that? When we were recording your drums, Bobby showed us that Kim Dracula, who's like
Yeah.
all over the place. There's like a jazz section, there's a ska section, there's a metal section and stuff.
Right.
Like, it seems to be that's sort of the thing people are doing now, where they just, here's all the genres and, you know, now Kiss. Sort of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Use them
Now
all together.
Kiss.
Do what you want.
Not the band, but Kiss.
No. But I will say Kiss is awesome, and so is Ghost, which is like Kiss and Queen put together.
Mhm, Ghost is great.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Copyright ensuing.
Did you hear it?
Perfect.
So where do you guys see yourself? You know, next year, 5 years? What's your
Broken up.
Oh, really?
Celebrating the 5-year anniversary of this conversation.
Back in 5 years.
That's an old Mitch Hedberg joke.
I hope to be seeing these guys play with the Paul Martinez hologram. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
When Paul will have 5 kids by then.
I'll still
And,
be alive. I just can't do it.
Taking care of his kids.
Way too busy.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you nothing but success. We're looking forward to your shows. Can't wait.
Thanks.
I sounded
We're
super Canadian
excited.
when I
This
said
is
that show.
this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. We'll have each one of you back,
Yeah.
either as a group or individually, whatever. It's always
Sure.
open. Okay, we'll put all your social media links in the description.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Next song is called Stop Stay. I got things coming out of fun. Yeah, you better watch out. Come on in, let's go. Where are you in here? The time is now, it's now. And then it's not to go. I got a bunch of boys in town.
Yes, we like the show.
Well, let's go to the bar.
Things I'd rather do.
Take us to the town. We'll never back down.
So hold on to me if you want to get away. If you hold on to me, don't try to escape.
Vegas Rocks the podcast is hosted by Adam and Sherry Martin Del Campo. This has been a Total Design Studios LLC production.